You remember the first Crash Bandicoot story, right? The one where me and Frederick found Crash and we had to help him get his family and fame back? Well, Crash is back, and he got a remastered trilogy game. But one thing we should have seen coming was that Neo Cortex would return too. After Crash defeated Cortex on the airship, he fell into an undiscovered cave filled with ancient purple power crystals.
Crystals, of course. No!
1 year later, Cortex had a new secret space station known as the Cortex Vortex, with his new partner, Dr. Engine. He questioned Cortex's situation of figuring out how to retrieve the remaining 25 crystals when he doesn't have any more assistants.
You fool! Do you think I'm unaware of the situation? If we don't have any friends left on the surface, then we'll need to find an enemy.
And there's no worse enemy Cortex has ever had than Crash Bandicoot.
Crash! My battery is fried. Make yourself useful, big brother, and bring an extra battery for me.
It was during that time while me and Frederick were just visiting Crash and his family once again. We decided to go together and look for some batteries for Coco. While we ventured through the jungle, all of a sudden, we've been unexpectedly abducted by Cortex.
Well. If it isn't Crash Bandicoot, welcome.
Cortex, I might have known this is your doing to bring us here. What do you want from us? I thought Crash defeated you just a year ago.
I need your help.
I couldn't put my finger on it. For some reason, he wanted us to help him find shiny purple power crystals.
Bring me the crystals, Crash.
Wait, why do you need them, Cortex?
During the course of my intellectual pursuits, I have stumbled across a force that threatens to destroy the world. The crystals are the only means of containing it.
Now that seemed oddly familiar when Cortex needed us to get crystals so we all can save the world. Crash seemed to believe that, so me and Frederick figured as long as we're here, we might as well help Crash venture through the levels that each contain a crystal. We ran through the turtle rainforest, splashed through mud puddles, fell into some mole pits, but got out of them. As we made our way back to the warp room, we were lucky that we found all the boxes and acquired a gem. Which then led us to Cortex's ex-partner, Embryo, who insisted on us collecting all the gems to get his revenge on Cortex.
If you obtain all 42 gems, I can use them to focus a laser. Ah, yes, a laser beam that will destroy Cortex and the space station he has created.
We weren't sure if Cortex had turned over a new leaf, but one thing for certain is that we have to keep collecting crystals if we want to explore new levels and face great foes and challenges.
Three crystals. Not bad.
We have been making such real good progress so far, but sometimes the challenge is deciding which path to take. I can sense the crystal's power coming from the left. Alright, then it looks like we're going left. We may not remember exactly where to go, but luckily our good friend Aku Aku has a great sense of direction, and can give Crash such great invincibility powers to get through levels fast and easy. But there were still some obstacles we just couldn't stay invulnerable to. After we managed to obtain the first 5 crystals, we then realized that there were some other enemies to stop us from progressing, like that crazy loony demolitions expert, Ripperoo.
I see that Ripperoo failed to prove much of a challenge yet again. The planets will align shortly, all 13 of them, and this will create a power great enough to rip the Earth apart. Properly utilized, however, the crystals can absorb and contain the energy.
Then we gotta keep collecting crystals before the Earth does get ripped apart.
But we have to be careful. Trusting Cortex seems a little unwisecracked.
To our surprise, Crash's sister Coco decided to step in and help us gather the crystals. Crash is very lucky to have a loyal sister like Coco. There were times when Coco can still get into a pickle from being a little rusty after a year. But just like Crash, she always kept getting back up onto her feet and doesn't give up too easily. But I had to agree with Coco. Something about trusting Cortex just doesn't seem right. We also got to see Crash's best pet friend once again, Polar the baby polar bear. After years of still being a small baby, he can still run fast and dodge obstacles. Well, most obstacles. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but on our crystal hunting journey, we stumbled upon some secrets and hidden pathways we haven't experienced in a while. Most of the hidden ways contained gems, and some colored gems too. Crash was so clever with platforming that he remembered a way to get to a secret warp room, with portals to some parts of the levels that were even impossible to get to from the main path. It's like a bonus path, but has more challenge compared to the normal state of the main levels. And each one contains a special surprise gem in the end. Crash was doing a really good job finding lots of collectibles in those levels. Oh yes, we were doing great so far.
10 of 25 crystals. You're on your way.
As we were on our way, we've been stopped by 2 vicious Komodo dragons, Mo and Joe. They're brothers, and they work together in harmony. Well, a bad kind of harmony. But Crash was no match for 2 against 1.
Good show, Crash. The Komodo brothers obviously lacked your mettle. There are still many crystals to obtain. Remember, the world is counting on you.
We still weren't sure about trusting Cortex, but we really didn't have a choice. The world was depending on all of us, and we had to keep searching for crystals so we can explore new levels and harness enough energy to save the world. Now, Crash knew that the crystals were the most important items, but just to be safe than sorry, he and his sister had to collect some extra gems too. The more secret areas they discovered, the more boxes they broke, and the more gems that needed to be found and collected. There were also some challenging moments that needed to be faced, like beating a time limit to earn a gem, purposely starting over to break all the crates, and getting chased by a giant angry polar bear parent. Yup, for a while it seemed to be easy, until Cortex told us how hard it's going to get.
The last 10 crystals will be the hardest to gather, and our enemies will be sending their strongest forces to thwart you.
And there was no stronger force than Tiny the Tiger. But you know, Crash was far too clever to outsmart that silly tiger. Tiny may be big and muscly, but he's not the smartest. We all had a good laugh at how that boss battle went. While we were congratulating Crash, suddenly Coco contacted us.
Crash, thank goodness! I hacked into Cortex's computer and found detailed schematics for an improved Cortex Vortex and a suspicious-looking space station.
Does it mean Cortex is planning on something diabolical or helpful?
I'm not sure, but Cortex might be trying to...
What? Trying to what? Coco, where are you? We need to know. Nate, buddy, relax. Let's just continue. I'm sure Coco will let us know next time we see her. Frederick was right. We may as well just press on ahead and wait for Coco to get back to us later. Meanwhile, Coco was doing all she could to catch up with us. She ran fast like the wind and dodged almost every obstacle in her way. She must have learned a lot from her big brother. Thankfully, Coco made it, and just in time, too. She told us that Cortex has almost completed his new space station, but the statements she saw did not seem quite right. So we have to be really careful with Cortex. We still don't know if we could trust him. Now, as you may have probably guessed, things were getting way much more harder and harder as we progress along. Especially when we ran into swarms of giant, scary bees. Oh, I always hate going through that level. Giant bees scare me to death, and I always have to squint my eyes so I won't see them well while I'm playing. But on the plus side of things, Crash remembered his digging ability that is useful to take cover from enemies. All the rest of that time, Crash and Coco were still doing good, gathering crystals and finding hidden areas with gems to collect, especially after how many times they died. Like Crash found a cool secret underground volcanic ruins, and Coco found some nitro crates that won't explode if you stand onto them. After we survived that last level, Cortex once again contacted us.
Crash, I have discovered that the opposition is being masterminded by Dr. Nitrous Brio.
Brio was the same guy who contacted us after collecting a gem. Cortex claimed that Brio forced him to assist for world domination, and he is going to do what he can to stand in our way. But I have a suspicion that Cortex may be lying. We didn't really have a choice though. Cortex wanted us to deliver the crystals to his new and best partner, Dr. Engine.
Like Dr. Cortex said, give the 20 crystals you've collected to me!
But Engine was no joke. He wanted to take the crystals from Crash by force, and Crash had no choice but to defeat Engine by tossing Wumpa Fruit at his machine. Cortex was furious when he heard about Engine's defeat.
What is your problem, Bandicoot? Obtain the remaining 5 crystals, Crash, and bring them to me.
But before we continue, I'd like to share a cool secret with those who've never tried it yet. Aku Aku said that if you run through Turtle Woods without breaking any boxes, you will obtain a blue gem in the end. But I'm sure most of you who played this already knew that. But now let's get back to the story. Crash and Coco have stumbled upon Cortex facilities, where there are robots, pistons, shockers, lab assistants, and shrink rays. It may have been much more difficult, but luckily they managed to find the other 2 crystals. Coco then discovered a secret gem platform that took her to the top of the station. But what she didn't expect was that the gem path required all of the colored gems they were supposed to find. Coco knew those gems would come in handy, but she needs to figure out what Cortex is really going to do with those crystals. Crash then remembered that a couple of levels required him to use a jetpack. It was pretty difficult to control it, but Crash already got the hang of using it. Crash has flown into a bunch of obstacles blocking his way, but he still pushed on. Nothing can stop Crash Bandicoot. No matter how many lives it takes, he just never gives up. Meanwhile, Coco had to rush through a dark and pitch-black jungle that goes straight to Cortex's computer system. The only way she can see through the jungle was to have bright fireflies light her way. After Crash completed the last level and got the last crystal, Cortex felt victorious because of his secret evil plan that is going to be a success.
Yes! My plan is nearly complete, and I have you, Crash Bandicoot, to thank for it.
I don't like the sound of that evil laugh. Yeah, what exactly is your plan to do with those crystals, Cortex?
It's actually going to be a big surprise, and I don't want to spoil it.
Engine, what's happening? What's that? Is she stealing our signal?
Crash, Cortex isn't gonna use the crystals to contain the planet's energy. He's gonna harness the force and use it to power the super Cortex vortex he's built on his space station. One blast and the ray will cover the entire world, turning everyone into Cortex's mindless slaves. Crash, don't let him have those crystals!
Engine, you fool! She's telling him everything! Oh, yes, we're back now. Pardon the, interruption. Crash, bring me crystals!
We've been duped! I knew Cortex was up to no good. This is bad news for the world. Everyone will be turned into Cortex's mindless slaves and serve him. But fear not. Crash may have made a mistake, but he's going to fix it. Crash Bandicoot was going to save the world once again. Go, Crash, now! Yeah, get him! Go stop Cortex! Crash just had to hit Cortex 3 times before he reached the vortex. But then, what do you know? Crash has won once again!
Woohoo! You haven't seen the last of me, Crash Bandicoot!
After helping Crash and Coco save the world once again, we then decided to take a load off for a bit. But after that, we still had to find the rest of the gems, so that Embryo can help us destroy the Cortex vortex that's still floating in space. It wasn't easy to find all the gems, but we succeeded.
We are ready, Crash. Would you like to do the honors?
It was a good thing an evil scientist was on our good side for the moment. The Cortex vortex exploded into pieces. We thought this was the end of Cortex, but sooner or later, we'll be facing a more powerful evil force next time.